Bonjour! Today I'm going to be doing my favorite books of 2015. So now it is 2016, so I thought it would be a great idea to talk about all the books that I absolutely loved in 2015. I could not narrow it down to 10 books. I really tried, but I did narrow it down to 12, which I think is close enough. All of these books are in no particular order except for the last 3 books. Those are the best of the best books I read in 2015. The rest are in completely random order. Some of them kind of chronological order, but mostly random order. So let's get started. So coming in at number 10 is Of Beastin Beauty by Stacey J. So I read this book in December, and as I mentioned in my December wrap-up, I absolutely loved this book so much. The writing was beautiful, the world building was amazing, and I was crying of joy when I was reading the last few pages because it was just so good and I did not want it to end. There was better world building in this book and better character development in this book than some series I have read, and this book was a standalone. I have not read anything else by this author, but I definitely want to after how amazing Of Beastin Beauty was. Coming in at number 11 is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. As I mentioned in my September wrap-up, I absolutely loved this book. It was a very dark book with violence and a corrupt government and torture, but it was so good. It was action-packed and suspenseful and heartbreaking, had me on the edge of my seat, and this book is massive, and I finished it in less than 2 days. I could not put it down. Coming in at number 10 is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Even though this was a contemporary romance, it touched on so many deep topics that I really loved. This book made me think about so many aspects of life that I don't always think about, and I really loved that. And this book really stuck with me. I read this book in the beginning of 2015, and I still remember little details about the book. I still remember specific quotes about the book, and every now and then I'll be thinking about the book and it just makes me so emotional. I love this book so much. It's not just about the romance, it's so much more than that, and I just really love that. Stephanie Perkins and Rainbow Royale are just the queens of contemporary. Nobody writes better contemporary books than they do. Coming in at number 9 is Tiger's Destiny by Colleen Hook. I absolutely love the Tiger's Curse series. It is my all-time favorite series of all time. Number 1 favorite series. No other series has ever surpassed this series. I just love this series so much, and Tiger's Destiny is the 4th book in this series. I read this book in the beginning of the year, and I loved it so much. This book centered around the element of fire, and the stakes were so high in this book. It was so dangerous, and no character left the fire realm unhurt, and some characters did not leave, sadly. I love this book so much. It made me so happy and so sad. It made me so emotional. And this is the 4th book in this series, and there is going to be a 5th one. But the way it ended, it was wrapped up so nicely. I don't see the need for a 5th one, but I don't care. I just love this series so much that I will still read it whenever it comes out. We don't know when it's coming out. Coming in at number 8 is Ignite Me by Terahia Mafi. The writing style was, of course, beautiful and lyrical and poetic, as you can expect by any Terahia Mafi book. The character development was insane. Juliet finally became the person she needed to be. She became this badass heroine. In Shatter Me, she was a scared little girl who was scared of her own shadow. But in Ignite Me, she was a badass, awesome person, and this book was just so good. So many amazing things happened, and the romance was amazing in this book. I was squealing and laughing. I really just wanted so much more after this book. I really wanted a 4th book or even a 5th book, because as I really loved Shatter Me and Unravel Me, Ignite Me was by far the best book, and I would love for a new book, but sadly it's the last book. I was so sad when it ended. I was like, it's over? No, I want more. Coming in at number 7 is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Cinder, I could not put down after page 1. I was so hooked to the book. It was so good. I loved it. I love how Marissa Meyer developed an intricate storyline and an amazing world out of a Cinderella retelling. That was awesome. I really loved Cinder. I started this book on like Sunday night, like in the beginning of the year, and by Monday afternoon when I came back from school, I had already finished it. And it's like, it's not that long. It's like, I think it's like 400 pages, but it should not have, but I flew through it so fast. Coming in at number 6 is Mortal Heart by Robin Ella Fears. Book is the last book in his Fair Assassin series, and it was so beautiful. Each book just got better and better, and the third one just blew my mind. It was so amazing. The romance was so dark and amazing. When we find out who the guy she falls in love with really is, I was completely blown away. I did not see that coming. This book is by Anif's point of view, and she was a sheltered assassin, and I love how strong she was. She was so sheltered, but she adapted to the world so easily, and she was the most badass assassin out of all 3 of them, and it was so awesome. I loved Mortal Heart so much. After I finished Mortal Heart, I had to like sit in silence because I could not deal with the fact that this amazing series was over, and it was just so emotional. I couldn't deal with it. Coming in at number 5 is Fangirl and Carry On by Rainbow Royale. I could not choose one, okay? Rainbow Royale's books are amazing. I could not just choose one. I loved Fangirl so much. It appealed to me on so many levels, and I loved seeing Caf's character development. The character development was insane. Caf started as a shy, really like antisocial with like a bunch of social anxiety and like trouble socializing with people, and through the end of the book she had new friends, she had a new boyfriend, she had this new sense of confidence about herself, and it was just so beautiful to see her journey. And Carry On was amazing. I did do a review of this. I'll leave the link down below, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but I absolutely loved Carry On. I think it might just be one of my all-time favorite books by Rainbow Royale. Coming in at number 4 is all of Casey West's books. I marathoned all of Casey West's books this year. This year I read The Distance Between Us, Off the Fence, Fill-In Boyfriend, Pivot Point, and Split Second. All of the Casey West books. And Casey West's books are just so amazing. I had the privilege to meet her this year, and she is just as amazing as all her books are. She's so sweet and funny, and I really loved Casey West. All her books are just so cute and adorable, and they're just so fun to read, and I really loved all of them, and I could not choose one. Now onto the top 3 books I read in 2015. Coming in at number 3 is Endless Night and Dead of Winter by Kresley Cole. This is the second and third book in their Kind of Chronicles series. These books were so good. After I finished Endless Night, I could not stop spazzing out to my friends of how amazing it was and how they had to read this series, and I could just not stop thinking about it. Actually, still, I can't stop thinking about this series. It's so amazing. And I read this series in the beginning of the year. It's so good. It's such a unique concept, which is awesome. The romance is amazing. The characters are just awesome. It's just, oh my god, I love this series so much. I could not pick one. After I finished Endless Night, I was like, I don't care how much Dead of Winter, I need it now. And I literally I finished Endless Night and I went online and ordered Dead of Winter. And once I read Dead of Winter, I could not stop swooning and laughing and just squealing because it was just so good. Oh my god. Coming in at number 2 is all the Sarah J Maas books. I marathoned all of her books this year, Court of Thorns and Roses, and the entire Throne of Glass series. And all of her books were so amazing. I could not just pick with just one. All her characters are just amazing. They're so wonderful. I just wish her characters were real life people because I would love them so much. And the world she creates are so amazing. I can't get enough of Sarah J Maas. Like, her books are so good. Coming in at number 1. You may be asking yourself, what is better than Sarah J Maas? Well, not much, but the reason this book is number 1 instead of Sarah J Maas's books is because as a first book in the series, this was a masterpiece, and it was also a debut novel, so I could not put this one for the first one, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I absolutely loved this book so much. I finished this book in a couple of days, and those couple of days I was crazy busy. Like, I literally had like no second of free time, and somehow I managed to read Red Queen, but it was just so good. I could not put it down. I love the concept of Red Queen. It's such a unique and like amazing concept, and I know this book is pretty similar to other books that everybody's complaints about Red Queen, but I don't care. It was written so well, and I couldn't put it down. It was just so amazing. When I was reading it, I couldn't help spazzing out to everybody about how amazing it was and how they had to read it. And I even got a couple people to read it, which made me so happy. And I even reached out to Victoria Aveyard online because I had to tell her how much I loved her book, and I just really wanted to talk to her, and she actually responded to me, and I got to talk to her, and she's just so amazing. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below all your favorite books of 2015.